That's always very difficult to say in our business because obviously the purpose we have in society is to absorb shocks. And it's important to remember that the last 6 years have been particularly tough because we had big hurricanes, we had nat cat events everywhere in the world, we had 3 years of a pandemic, and then last year when we thought it would be better, we had a war starting in Europe. So we never know, but it's clear that the environment is now massively better with interest rates significantly higher, which help us a lot, and also reinsurance rates significantly higher. So we're cautiously optimistic, of course, and satisfied with the first half of our year.
Numbers, it seems like you're tilting more towards optimism within that cautiously optimistic outlook because you've backed your 2023 view and guidance.
Absolutely, yes.
What's keeping you confident about the remainder of the year, the second half?
So there's different factors. So the interest rate environment, the investment environment is much better than it was before. So we have a natural run rate that's much higher. All the renewals we have with our contracts are significantly higher in terms of pricing. We also moved away from what we call the frequency layers, so the retentions of our clients have increased, which means that a lot of the small and nat cat events we see, which are also caused by climate change, are not within our profit line. So we are a bit more protected from the smaller events. We're still there for the very big events where we should be. And so if you take all of that together and you project that going forward, this gives the outlook that we think we can make our targets.
Christian, it is Jumana here. Really nice to talk to you. I want to pick up and ask you about your combined ratio coming in at, I believe, 91%. This is for the quarter. This is an improvement. I see a sequential improvement from where we were in the first quarter. What do you point that down to? Is it because there are lower payouts or because your premium pricing has gone up?
Yeah, so there's two components. We have one business that's called Corporate Solutions, which is the corporate insurance business. That has performed very well Q1 and Q2. In the reinsurance P&C business, we had a very large earthquake in Turkey, Syria in Q1, which was overall a much bigger load and one of the biggest earthquakes actually we had to pay in our history. So this has impacted Q1, whereas Q2 has been relatively quiet for us. I mean, there was a whole series of convective storms and fires everywhere. But as I said before, these are more in the retention of our clients and haven't really impacted our quarter. So in P&C Re, the reduction of the combined ratio is mostly the lack of nat cat in the second quarter. But obviously, the price increase is helped by 2-3 points also in terms of baseline.
Well, sustainability is a big topic in your space, and actually you and I have spoken about sustainability together in the past. One question I do want to ask you is why Swiss Re took the decision to leave the Net Zero Insurance Alliance. So what prompted that decision, and how is it going to impact your sustainability targets going forwards?
Yeah, I think there's no impact, basically. But you see, one of the challenges we all have, and we're totally committed to the Net Zero 2050, the Paris Agreement, all of that, there's no question, is that we need to measure our CO2 footprint in scope 1, 2, and 3. And 3 is our investment portfolio and our insurance contracts. And when the Paris Agreement was created, unfortunately, no institution was created to come up with norms and ways to calculate things. And so the risk is that, like on the reporting side, we're going to see fragmentation. Every country is going to come up with a different method, or we have no method at all. And to get to Net Zero 2050 for us, it's obviously essential that we can measure that. So the original idea of the NZIA was to come up, to help ourselves, to come up with something that we can agree on. But obviously, as you know very well, in the US, this topic is unfortunately very politicized. And so overall, we came to a conclusion that the risk and reward, the benefits of coming together versus the legal risk were not worth it. So, but it doesn't change much in terms of commitments. We just need other bodies to define some of these measurements so that we can move forward.